What was that little transition in the middle? The big breath. How did that feel? It went from what to what?
I felt like I was just relaxing and going deeper into it, but
Yeah. Yes, no but.
okay.
Absolutely right. We just want to learn to really pay attention. Sometimes it takes a while to settle, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes meditations are very activating. So we might take a breath and then we start talking in tongues or yelling or moving our body, right? So no but. It was a great observation, and you
Okay.
noticed it. And also you went with that transition when it happened. You let it happen. And the meditation after that was quite different, huh?
It was different, but
So what would make it quite different as opposed to different?
something more noticeable.
Such as green foam coming out of your mouth and your head spinning around.
just noticing a bigger difference. Yeah.
So this work is very subtle, and the more we notice the subtle, the more we are able to surrender. We're like getting trained to surrender. Surrender is like, surrender isn't surrender. That's not surrender. That's compliance, obedience, drama, etc. Right? But we learn to feel that subtle stuff, and then big things roll out. And we find out the big things are a whole series of little things, maybe one right after the other. Our capacity to receive has a lot to do with how much we can experience and how much we can do. Not very Western. Western is the capacity to do, to conquer, to persevere, to keep going. That's, that shows the way. But this is different. It's more like relaxing, receiving, relaxing, receiving, relaxing, receiving. And all of a sudden I'm somewhere really different. But if I just do a little bit and go, oh, well, that's not good enough, that's the end of it. Yeah? And that's Western programming and some family history too. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So again, remember when you couldn't feel anything, and now you're going, yeah, it was different.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's quite a difference myself.
Yeah. That is nice. I was noticing that looking at how I've been practicing lately. I think in the beginning I was pretty excited because I was noticing the changes, but then if I have a couple meditations where I can't really distinguish between any feelings or changes, I get discouraged and then I'm kind of like, screw it. So
That is greediness, Western greediness, not you specifically greedy. And also there's a lot of times we need to assimilate. Like we get to a certain level and then it feels like a plateau. Same thing with weightlifting, same thing with the diet. We hit these plateaus where the body has to sort of readjust and then it continues. It's not always just a straight line. In fact, it rarely is.
yeah, and I know it's normal to I know it's normal for it to take a while to really change and grow a lot and become different, but I was just noticing that that's kind of how I was reacting to it, and I don't know what to do about that other than just keep trying. But
Well, also to learn to be patient, learn to trust that the energy knows better than you what to do. Like, I want to go this way, I want this to happen, I want more to happen. And the energy's like, your body's not ready for it, your brain's not ready for it, your soul's not ready for it. Yeah, and then we have to go, I'm going to accept what's happening now because something's still happening. Waiting is something is happening. Sitting in silence and being frustrated and then allowing that to sort of lift away is something.
Mm.
I remember my teacher once gave me a great compliment years ago. He looked at me once, he said, "You've gotten very patient." Now in Western culture, it's like, that means nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, loser, doormat, you'll never make $1 million, you won't be an influencer. But in the Eastern culture, that was like, wow, That was a huge stepping stone, especially for me being a workaholic. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that does remind me about being impatient here, coming here to classes, and then now I'm a lot different.
Yeah.
Don't expect as much, and just kind of going with the flow and being open.
And then learning to be excited about what does happen.
Right.
And this is the same thing like with romance. Well, she didn't kiss me. She didn't smile at me. She didn't want to see me 2 days later. She didn't call me for 10 days. What the hell's going on? Maybe nothing. Maybe it's going exactly the right way. Right? So learning to trust that, and that is that balance between yin and yang energy. Yin energy is our ability to receive. Yang energy is our ability to act off of what we receive. But the timing has to be balanced. And this is not Western at all. This is why this is hard. Western people don't go, wow, he made $1 million because he was so patient and noticed the little tiny changes in energy. You don't hear anybody talk about that,
Yeah.
right? And then a lot of times what happens with this is the big stuff rolls in and we don't even notice it. Like I remember the first time you were able to talk about feeling something and you didn't even notice you were doing it.
Mm.
And before that you used to go, no, I don't feel anything. I don't feel anything. No, well, maybe, I don't know, my back hurts. But no, I don't feel anything. And then one day you were talking about feeling something. There was another guy who used to come here, an old man, Joe. He was the same way. He says, I don't see stuff. He was really like an old codger. We all loved him. I don't see stuff. I don't feel stuff. And then one day he goes, yeah, I saw this blue light. And he's telling, like, he's had these visions and he was feeling stuff. And we're like, Joe, did you hear what you just said? And he's like, holy shit. Like he didn't even realize because he was so stuck in, I don't feel or see anything. And then it rolled in one day. He doesn't even know when it happened. And he was like, I'll never do it. It'll never happen. All you young people, you know, I just drink beer and build cars and, you know, complain about my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden things happened. And he said his whole marriage changed. Everything changed.
Wow.
So it was cool. And he was a devout Christian. Why he came here for so long? Something drove him, you know, because this is weird. All of this is weird.
Yeah.
For him, right? And he was, you know, late 60s, something like that, you know? So you did that big leap and you didn't even notice it. And that's actually how this stuff always works. Yeah,
Good point.
frustrating.
Yeah.
I know. In Taoism, they call it effortless effort. Very frustrating because, you know, like I want to do more. I'm going to meditate more. I'll learn tarot cards. I'll do crystal. I'll do essential oil. Or, but just like a love relationship, you can't force things. You can't rush things. I mean, you can, but it's always a disaster.
Yeah.
And if you let it go in its own timing and read that timing, that takes a lot to do that. Same energy we use raising kids or training animals, or I call it educating animals. They're going to go at their own pace. So every time we have an agenda, rather than I wonder what's going on, curiosity, we're operating from our lower energies. Because only the ego has an agenda. And the ego is not bad, but I want to come from that higher energy, the higher self, more. My ego is very well trained. Doesn't need any help. So whenever there's an agenda, that is me in my human journey, as opposed to me and my human journey being guided by the higher energies that I can connect with, the ones out here and the higher self in here. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I think
So it's a good red flag. Like I have to watch that with animals. You know, I'm working with this red-tailed hawk. And when I go in there with an agenda, I'm like, oh shit. The human me is like, well, today we're going to learn this. And that hawk hates me. Like, I hate you. But when I go in there like, I wonder what's going to happen. Something else happens. And it's not, I mean, with all the years I have, I still have to catch that. Because I live in the Western world too. It's like, get it done. Where's the proof? There's progress. Well, I'm waiting. What?
Yeah.
Every podcast in the world's like, you know.
Yeah.
But that was something I heard a few weeks ago, and I loved it. It's like the red flag that you're coming from your lower self, your lower energies, and they're not bad. Lower is not bad. Lower is where sexuality is, and great food, and massages, and getting things done, and driving a car, and all that stuff. But I want to come using those human energies, being more guided by the higher self inside of me. And that higher self is curiosity. Like, what happened that time? Oh, something happened. Wow, what was that? Oh, that's so interesting. And now I'm happy. There's no yes, but. Yeah, and this is Americans, by the way. And probably Easterners too. I haven't lived in Asia, so. But you have the whole culture bearing down on you going, that's not enough.
Yeah, and I think a part of it too is like I'm coming here, but I'm not really, I don't have a personal practice. I kind of feel like an imposter, or like I'm not doing the work, not doing enough.
So just in case she gets to play.
Yeah.
Well, do you think about spiritual stuff during the week?
Yeah, I mean,
Then trust that. Trust that. Maybe you're going as fast as you can handle right now. Maybe other things are going on inside of you that you don't know about because you didn't work and work and work, and then one day you came here and went, oh my God, I feel stuff during meditation. Joe, I don't think he meditated at all at home. And he just came here and he bitched him. I don't see anything. I don't feel anything. Oh, you young people, I don't get it. But, and my wife. And then one day he came in and saw blue, and this happened and that happened. We're like, he didn't even notice. And it didn't come out of this discipline, practice. But something in him was paying attention.
Okay.
So maybe this is as good as it gets for you right now.
Got it.
And there's been years where I'm barely meditating. There were years where I couldn't meditate. Life was too hard. All I could do was pray. Talk to spirit, curse spirit out, get mad about my life, close my eyes for about 30 seconds. That was it. Or I'd start crying or get angry. And that's all I could do for a while. And that was the best I could do. I was getting crunched. And I had to learn, like, good enough. That's good enough. Like, why isn't good enough great? Why is it always not good enough? That hurts our energy field and our psyche. It's always not good enough.
Okay.
Yeah, so if we can catch that, like I have an agenda. If it's not good enough, there's an agenda. If it's good enough, there might be an agenda, but at least I'm on the threshold of surrender. Well, it was good enough. What was good enough? Now I'm curious. Now I'm more into surrender. Now I'm more into the higher energies because I want to know what's going on instead of comparing it to a level that I had in my mind that I just made up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm my spirit guide. Okay, I should be doing this every week. Fuck, I'm not doing it. You look at that and like, that's crazy shit. I'm not saying you smoke weed or anything. I was just making a joke, right?
Yeah.
But we do that to ourselves. Like, then we're being led by our lower energies. That's not good enough. Said who? My ego, my family history, my ethnic culture, the culture of the United States. That's who's talking. When I go, I wonder what this is, that's spirit talking, because spirit's always asking us to learn. And to go, what is that? Because spirit's always going, can you learn this much? Well, until you learn this much, we can't give you this much. Your nervous system can't handle it. Your brain can't even comprehend it. So until you can take this much and go, oh, now we can give you something else. But the second I go, well, yeah, but what's next? Just that? That's it? It's probably my fault. I'm not meditating enough. Different mindset. Forever, by the way. Like, I still have to work on that mindset. I'm not like there. Like every day brushing my teeth, I have to work on that mindset. I have to catch myself not having an agenda. Not trying to run my life from the lower energies that say, this is failing, this is not working. If I do this, it'll work. Instead I go, what is happening? What am I being shown? What am I intuitively feeling guided to do? Oh, sleep all day. Okay. My little left brain's going, what? You have too much to do. I learned quite a bit about that doing a PhD. I was used to, research, do papers, get the work done, and I couldn't do it that way. I would procrastinate, I thought, but it turned out I'd wait and wait and wait. I'd read stuff, I'd wait, I'd read stuff, I'd wait. And then about 4 or 5 days before the course was over, I would either, it would be like 10 at night or 2 in the morning, like some weird time, because I go to bed early. I'm like a farmer, go to bed, sun goes down and get up at sunrise. I would just sit down and write the entire paper with citations in the APA format. So that's not easy writing. That's not just writing. I had to write and citation, write, a horrible way to write. And after a few papers like that, I went, I guess that's how it's going to go this time. So I just read, stopped panicking, and I just knew at some point something in my brain would come together. Maybe it was spirit, maybe it was just neuroscience, and I would write a 10-page paper and basically not really even rewrite it. Just one draft. It was the right time. But the first few times it was a little nerve-wracking, like, why can't I write? Oh my God, I had been in school for decades. Back in school at 50. Maybe I can't do this. I'm not smart enough. On and on. Research on the internet. I used to read books and articles, and now I'm on the internet. And then I got a paper done. Then I got another one done, another one. And I went, oh, this is how it's going. Okay. And then I learned, if I woke up 2, 3 in the morning and I got this vibe, go write the paper. I would. So now if I get the vibe, sleep today, do nothing. I'm like, okay. Because I also know that doing nothing out here means there's a huge amount of something going on in here. And sometimes it's exhausting. But it took a while to get there. Even, I started all this very young, so I'm talking at 50, so that's about 30 years of practice under my belt. I still went through that with a PhD of like, oh my God, until I finally trusted the process.
Definitely hard to get there.
And it's hard to go to the gym. You just do it one day at a time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't going to the gym for a while, now you are.
Yeah.
And you just did it, right?
Yeah, that really surprised me.
But when you thought about it, it was hard. But when you started, it started to happen.
Yeah.
And it started to happen at exactly the right time. How do we know? Because it worked. Right? That's working in partnership with spirit. And it is a little scary. Am I procrastinating? Am I being lazy? Am I doing the right thing? All those conversations go on in our head, and we have to learn to calm them down, listen to them and go, it's okay. It's going to be okay.
I'll have to remember that.
Well, it's a practice forever. Forever. I still have to do all that. I'm just better at it now. But I still have to do it. And this is what anxiety looks like. I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this, I have to do that. And there's no ability in that person yet to settle and receive and go, okay, I have to do that, but not now. And then all of a sudden one day I'm like, do it now. And it goes like that. This trip I just talked about.
Yeah.
Everything was wrong. So I just gave up. And then I got signs, push this, push that. So I did it. And then, boom, everything fell into place in like an hour. Everything. Ridiculous. I was like, oh, okay, right. And yes, it was meant to be, right? But I also had to find out it wasn't working, wait without giving up, being curious, like, I wonder what's going on. Because it looked like it was working, completely fell apart, and then I had to just wait with curiosity. Because if I had gone, oh, fuck it, it's not happening, I would have never made emails or phone calls and gotten the encouragement I did to put it all together. And one day I emailed somebody, that day, that moment, send the email right now, and I did. And that was the person who said, no, apply for a scholarship, and then this one apply for a scholarship, and this one apply, and then the original person who was going to go said, great, now we're going. And then I found a flight that didn't exist a month ago.
Yeah.
But there was that little bumpy part of, well, shit, it's not happening. But instead of like, God damn it, it's my fault, I screwed up, I did something wrong, I went into curiosity, like, okay. A little bit of disappointment. I wonder what's going to happen next. That comes from a lot of practice. What's the practice? This. And it doesn't happen like step by step by step, like building muscles. It's like nothing, 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 and then all of a sudden, you're over here.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a moment like that recently with weightlifting. I just one day, all of a sudden, I am fully committed, and I'm going to make this work by all means, no matter what. And ever since
You
then.
were just ready for it.
Yeah.
And you stayed open. And you didn't beat the shit out of yourself for not doing it. I mean, you might have, but then you stopped somewhere, you stopped. And then somewhere, something was able to get through to you, something bigger than you that's like, this is a good time. Now, you're in the right mood, you're in the right space, you're going to do it the right way. As opposed to, I'm going to do it no matter what, and then we fail or we hurt ourselves or something because we're pushing. So what we're really talking about is balance. Balance is an art form. It's this constantly. And then it goes like this, and then we bring it back, and then it's like this for a while. It's forever. But it's a cool way to live, because instead of trying to get the car, get the girl, get the guy, get the job, we're trying to stay connected. We're trying to find balance. And then everything out here goes different. Not Western thought at all.
No.
Yeah. So you have questions?
That was beautiful. Yeah, I wrote some down here. I don't know if you have any comments for these, but I think the biggest thing that's kind of bothering me right now is occasional insomnia. And I was just wondering if you have anything to say about that.
I want to go back to something else instead, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Because I think they're related. So, can you close your eyes?
Sure.
And just feel your breathing. And I want to see if you can kind of call up that voice or the time or memory, or it might show up as a person or an emotion. But that time where all of a sudden going to the gym or weightlifting was a good thing. And I want to hear, who is that said that to you or gave you that go ahead? And how did they tell you? Do they have an age? Do they have a gender? Are they a person? Was it a dragonfly? Was it an old man? Just see if you can go back to that moment and tell me, what was that like? Who was talking? And how did that feel? And when you get it, tell me.
Not getting anything like that. It was just felt like a very bright, light.
Good. Tell me more about that bright light. Trust whatever comes to mind. Keep your eyes closed. Trust whatever comes to mind, even if it sounds ridiculous, even if it's like a pink hippopotamus. So it's a bright light, and it's like a voice, or you felt it in your body.
just a bright idea. Yeah, I was right by my pantry,
Mm-hmm.
but other than that, I'm not.
So when it kind of came and hit you, how did it make you feel? Happy, motivated, excited, doubtful?
Yeah, very excited, and it was like a switch being flipped.
Great. And when that switch was flipped, how did your body feel? From what to what?
I mean, I was ecstatic, but I don't know if that was my body or not. I don't remember my body feeling it in a certain way.
Well, usually if I'm feeling down, my body feels like heavy or I don't even feel it at all. And then when something good happens, what I consider good, my body feels lighter, more motivated. I'm energized or I'm less hungry or I don't want to take a nap. Anything like that?
Definitely very excited and motivated, and like I was seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
Excellent. And what happened to the usual voice of like, probably not gonna work. I don't think so. I don't feel like it. What happened to that voice? Take whatever comes. Don't think.
Just wasn't there anymore.
Okay. Any idea how old that voice is? The one that wasn't there anymore? Do you have an age to that voice? 4, 13, 17?
Maybe 14.
Excellent. Good. See if you can kind of visit that 14-year-old with the attitude of, fuck it, not gonna work, maybe, probably not good enough. And see what else you can tell me about that 14-year-old. What do you know about that 14-year-old? What else does that 14-year-old have to say to you about things? Like if it was someone at a party or one of your friends, you know, like, yeah, Johnny's always this way. What's that 14-year-old like? Don't think.
Just kind of giving up on everything.
Everything, yeah. Do you see him? Is you see him in clothes and stuff, or just more of a feeling right now?
Yeah, I see him.
What's he look like? Tell me.
Hair overgrown.
Yep.
Baggy clothes.
Yep. Make himself kind of look like you don't want to look at me. Does he slump a little? Posture? Yeah.
Mhm.
Got it. All right. So, anything else you can tell me about him? A 14-year-old? Does he like to hide in his room or listen to loud music or throw shit at walls when people aren't looking? What else can you tell me about him? Does he hate people? Hate his folks or what?
Yep, feels lost.
Lost?
Yeah.
About everything?
Yeah, just like a tunnel vision.
Yeah. Is he mad at anybody or just lost?
Sad.
Yeah. Sad at someone special or just sad?
Just sad.
All right. So I want to see if you, this Fabian, can kind of show up in front of him, next to him, and just sort of introduce yourself. Like, that's Fabian at 14. That's a part of you at 14, not the whole of you, but a part of you. And see if you can make a little contact with him and ask him how old he thinks you are. And tell me what he says.
35 or 40.
Good. What did he think about you? Looking at you.
Impressed and intimidated.
What?
Impressed and intimidated.
Very nice. What's the intimidated part?
Doesn't want to be seen.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm wondering if you could, the older you, the present you, kind of offer your friendship to him and ask him if maybe you can be buddies, and the next time he feels horrible and sad, that you'll listen, you'll catch it, and maybe work together to figure out what to do next, because something crazy, wonderful just happened, which is some light came in and suddenly you both were willing to go and lift weights. And that was kind of a new thing for him, for that part of you. And see if you can, I don't know, next time he'll talk to you, text you, make your back hurt so you know it's him or something, and ask him if he's willing to do that and what he would like from you. And when you get something, tell me.
Yeah, he's eager and he just wants help.
Okay, so what's he expecting from you? Like, you'll hang out together, you'll just come in times of emergency, you'll talk every day. What's his expectation? And now he's kind of met you.
He wants the world now.
He wants what?
He wants the world now.
The world?
Yeah, like as much as he wants a connection.
So he wants to start living life?
No, I meant a connection with me.
Yeah, but that, if he gets that connection with you, what does that mean to him? How's that going to change his world?
Transform it.
How? Ask him how. Like, what do you think? What's all the good stuff you think is going to happen? He has expectations. These are big words he's talking about. So if he's connected with you, what does that mean for him? Like, he's going to meet girls, he's going to do better in school, he's going to what? He's going to have more fun, eat better, play more games, what? He's like, now I got a buddy, like a big brother. What does that really mean to him? Be curious. Trust whatever comes. It might be just, for now he has someone to talk to. That might be good enough. It doesn't have to be big. It could be little.
I just feel like he's very open.
And what does that mean to him, open?
He
yeah.
trusts me. Trusts me with.
So he's trusting you to make him feel safe? Is that it?
Okay.
Is it? Or is it something else?
Feel safe to guide and help him.
Oh, nice. Is there anything specific he's really looking forward to? Like, now that I have you, now that this might be a friendship, I can look forward to. Is there something specific? There may not be.
Not sure.
Okay. But he's just looking forward in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
So see if you, the big you, can promise him that you're going to keep visiting him and listening and stay connected. And also tell him that if for some reason you kind of miss the cue that he wants to talk, tell him to make sure he keeps asking or makes it louder so you hear it until you get really good at it. Tell him that and tell me if he's okay with that. How's that going?
Yes.
Good?
Yes.
Did it make him smile?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. And how does grown-up Fabian feel about that?
Very eager to follow.
Beautiful.
Maintain that.
Good. Beautiful. All right. So tell him you guys are connected now. It probably won't be perfect. Nothing ever is. And you'll be back. And then I want you to scan your body. Just notice anything that's going on. Feel more relaxed, more tired, anything. Any parts hurt or not, just, yeah. What?
It feels accomplishing.
And how does your body feel with that? Scan it, notice.
I want to say excited and
So your body, like your heart's beating faster, your body feels more energized, or does it feel more relaxed and you feel more in your body?
feel like I'm buzzing.
Beautiful. How's your breathing feel?
Maybe a little tense.
Okay. Go to that tension and see if there's anything that tension wants to tell you. Like, kind of asking that tension, who are you? What's going on? Why are you tense? No matter what you get, tell me. Don't think, don't doubt. What is it saying?
Just this feeling of like claustrophobia or being closed in or
Okay. Is it related to the little 14-year-old or something else?
I'm not sure.
Is it fear of failure that won't be able to keep that relationship going? That you're not enough? That you'll screw it up? Or you won't do it good enough?
Yeah, that'll screw it up.
Yeah. Okay. So that tension, and I might screw it up, does that have an age to it? Take whatever comes.
I don't get an age, but it feels very young and small.
It feels young,
Mm-hmm.
like toddler young, or 7, 8, 9 young,
Okay.
or younger than that.
Five, maybe?
Okay, got it. 5-year-old's gonna screw up. Got it. All right. So just noticing that. How does that tension feel now? Same, different.
Different.
How different? Worse? Better?
Better, more open.
Good. All right. So to that little 5-year-old, can you see a 5-year-old? Whatever that 5-year-old is. Might be a girl, might be a boy, might be a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
You see? What does that 5-year-old look like? Full of life or hiding?
Curious about the world, but kind of dulled out.
Yeah. But still has that little light in him of
Mm-hmm.
like, woo, the world, right?
Yeah.
All right. So see if you can show yourself to that 5-year-old, your present self. And you can ask that 5-year-old if he knows who you are, knows how old you are. Let's kind of introduce yourself and tell me what you get. What's happening?
He's astounded.
He's what?
Astounded.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Beautiful. So ask him if you guys, well, first tell him, you're kind of the same people, but you're the grown-up version, and ask him if it's okay to be friends and to start talking more. And would that be okay with him?
Yeah, he's okay with it.
Is he excited, or is he just okay with it?
Yeah, he is excited.
Yeah, good. All right. Tell him some of the things you're doing as a grown-up, just to catch him up and see what's astounded to meet you. Just tell him about the work you're doing, things you accomplish, the stuff you've built, internet stuff you do, what kind of person you are. Just to kind of say, hey, and ask him if he has anything else he wants to tell you or show you.
He's just kind of pointing out what I'm showing him.
Pointing out what?
Pointing out what I'm showing him, and
Yeah.
says he wants to do that.
Beautiful. Excellent. So tell him, ask him if it's okay you leave for now, but anytime he wants you, he can come and get you. And is that okay? Or does he have anything else he needs to say to you right now or show you?
Talking about my mom.
What's he saying?
He doesn't like her.
Got it. Can he tell you more about that? Why? Be curious, be his friend, listen to him. What's he saying? Trust what comes up. Don't think.
Says she's cold and mean.
Ah, how's that make him feel?
Terrible.
Yeah. Like he's never good enough, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, got it. Can you give him a little compassion, like, wow, that's horrible, and I'm so sorry that you had to live with that. Ask him if there's anything else he wants to tell you about that.
Says it's okay now after giving a big hug.
All right, good. So, ask him if there's anything else he needs to tell you right now, that you'll be having plenty of conversations in the future. Is there anything else now he needs to say or show you?
Mm. Something, but I'm not sure.
Say again?
He's saying something, but I'm not sure what it is. Like showing me something.
Well, see if you can make it clear to you. Or maybe it's all he can show you right now. Just see if, tell him I don't understand. You want to show me more? Or do you want to talk later? Just see which way it goes. What's happening?
He wants to talk more.
Okay. Tell him you're listening and let's hear what he has got to say or what he's got to show you. Don't think, don't doubt.
Seems like he just wants to talk.
About?
Like share with me. But I'm getting like toys or something.
Is it a happy share or scared share or a sad share or combination?
It's kind of like a concern, but maybe not very dangerous. But
So ask him, did something happen? You're showing me like kind of playing with toys. Is there something that happened that you remember that hurt or scared you? And he doesn't have to show you now. He can show you some other time, but maybe there's something now he wants to clarify.
I think now he's okay with it now. He says we can talk later.
All right. So ask him if it's okay that you say goodbye for now, but you're not really saying goodbye. It's kind of like you're all roommates now. Is that okay with him? You'll still be connected?
Yes.
Okay. Good. How's your tension feeling that you had?
I feel like some anxiety now.
Same place?
No,
Where is that?
it just
You-
feels,
Somewhere in your body?
yeah, just kind of like throughout my body.
Your whole body?
Yeah, I feel like I want to like
Hunch
crunch up.
over?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's kind of go to those shoulders, the hunched over part. And just kind of like, sort of like knocking on a door, and is there anybody there? Somebody have something they want to say, and see what comes up. Got anything?
No.
Okay. Does it feel like it's at all connected to the 14-year-old and the 5-year-old? Or something completely different?
Maybe the 14-year-old.
Yeah. Okay. So check in with that 14-year-old about that anxiety and see if that's a connection. And I also want you to ask that 14-year-old if that anxiety has anything to do with that recent conversation with the 5-year-old. What are you getting?
No. Getting a no, but
Trust it. Just say it. Doesn't have to make sense.
old relationship is coming up
Yeah. Okay. With?
with an ex. If you can.
Got it. Related to the 14-year-old, or?
I think that was afterwards, but
Yeah. Okay.
close. Yeah.
Did the 14-year-old, is that the one that noticed it, or another voice?
Maybe, yeah, slightly different.
Older? Younger?
Older.
Got it. How old? About? Or exactly? Either one?
23.
Okay. Got it. So let's see if you can connect with that 23-year-old and hear what that energy has to say, what that part has to say about why the anxiety just came up just now and what's going on.
He's really upset at the fact that he's just really wish things were different, and he's like really giving himself a hard time about that.
Does it feel like the same 14-year-old giving himself a hard time? Do they feel related or separate?
It feels different.
Got it. So ask that 23-year-old, what's going on? Introduce yourself first. Make sure you guys are okay to talk. See if that 23-year-old knows how old you are, who you are. And ask if he's willing to talk to you a little bit more about that anxiety that just came up.
Yeah, he's overwhelmed and
Bye.
everything he's going through.
Life, everything in life, or home life, or relationships.
Yeah, relationships.
Okay. How's he feeling about that?
Very depressed and not sure what to do, just going through it.
Yeah. Alone, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. How's he feel about meeting you?
Hopeful, but still overwhelmed.
Yeah, got it. See if you can talk to him about being friends and working together so he's not alone. Figure things out. And tell him there's some others too that kind of like putting together a family here, the 5-year-old, 14-year-old, 17, 23. How's he feel about that? He may be discouraged, that's okay. It doesn't have to be yay. And it can be yay, either one.
Yeah, I feel like he is happy.
Good. Ask him what he would like from you. And now that you met, sort of being friends. You're like the big brother.
He wants peace.
Be what?
He wants peace and he wants to forgive himself.
Forgive himself for what?
For torturing himself.
Ah, very nice, huh? Give him a big hug for saying that. That's awesome. It's a huge thing to say. So ask him if it's okay that you guys work on that together. How does he feel about that?
Very happy.
Ask him if there's anything else he needs to say to you right now.
No, he feels set now.
Good, okay. So tell him you're connected. At some point you might meet the others, but you're all in it together. All these parts are like the family with siblings. And ask them if it's okay that you leave for now, but you'll still be connected. You both have cell phones. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. So scan your body again, see how it's feeling. Just be curious.
Honestly, I feel much better now.
Anything jumping out, or everything feeling pretty good? Pretty okay?
It feels pretty good.
Good. All right. So just kind of feel your body again. Feel your breathing. Feel you. Might have a lot of energy going on around your head. And whenever you feel ready, you'll open your eyes. There's no rush. And then I want you to write whatever you need to write. And then we'll talk a little bit. All those parts you met, they're woken up now because you listened to them, so they're in you. They've always been in you, and now you know them, and you'll get to know them better.
Wow. Yeah.
Want to write some stuff first?
Yes.
Or you forget anything?
Yeah.
We do have a recording, so
Yeah, that's true, but yeah, I do want to write it down.
yeah, go.
That was new.
Cool, huh?
Very cool.
So I want to talk a little bit about what this is and what happened,
Okay.
unless you have questions first.
No, I know. I learned a lot from it.
Okay. So years and years ago, Wang Lo talked about that we come in, this little soul in a human body, and then as we go through life, we get fractured inside. We become a son, a daughter, a cousin, a brother, a sister, or a high school student, or first love, workers, and it can split us into all these little parts. Like, this is me at work, this is me with my mother, this is me at school, getting bullied, etc. So this part of the work, this meditation, cultivates our ability to contact what we could call the soul or the higher self that's kind of untarnished, that lives in this body that's having a human experience. So this contacts this and strengthens the connection with the higher energies. And that can bring kind of the fractured parts together quite a bit. But this work is called parts work. In psychotherapy, it's called internal family systems. One therapist recently made the comment, it's the Beatles of therapy right now. It's very big, it's very popular. And everybody's learning it, whether they have any education or experience behind it, they are learning it. So there's a lot of, when things become popular, like with Reiki, all of a sudden everybody can do Reiki instantly, doesn't mean they're good at it. So what this work does is, a lot of the times during the day, we are being guided and led by these different parts of ourselves. The wounded 5-year-old, the 14-year-old that's given up, the 23-year-old that feels I can never do it. And we are blended with them so much we think it's us. That's me. But it's not. It's a part of me that I've lived with for so long that when that voice comes and runs my life or my conversation, I think that's me. So when we get triggered, that's a part, right? So what this work does, it's a actually kind of a form of channeling, because sometimes we'll do this and you'll meet something that doesn't belong to you. It's not a part of you. It's an entity. It's from another dimension, it's another life form, etc. And this system is actually the first mainstream psychological therapy system that has admitted there are things called entities and spirit guides as well, right? So sometimes we'll go inside, part of your body will hurt, and you go, well, it doesn't even belong to me. So that's a whole different process. But we go inside, it's like, oh, I have this little 5-year-old voice inside of me who's still hurt. And because we're not in conversation or relationship with that part gets to come up and run certain conversations or certain relationships. So let's say, so that 5-year-old was upset with mother. So all you need to do is meet anybody who reminds you of your mother, and that 5-year-old is now running that relationship. But you don't even know it.
Wow.
Because you just think it's you, but it's not. It's only a part of you.
Wow.
So what we're doing is we're channeling parts of us that have typically been hurt, and then we also have other parts that are protecting us from hurt that happened a long time ago. So it can come up, we can work a lot of different ways, but what came up for you were the hurt parts. Sometimes what comes up for people first are the protector parts, the ones that go, fuck you, man, fuck you and everybody you know, and I'll go, who's talking? And it's some tough teenager in them, right? So that's who we talk to first. But who came up first for you are the parts that are holding on to hurt things. And because they've had no conscious connection with you, they're just inside of you causing physical stuff. They can cause immune stuff. But most of all, what they're causing are emotional reactions that are no longer appropriate because you're not 5, you're not 14, and you're not 23. But those parts don't know that because we never talk to them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what happens is once you sense them, you're going to feel their energy now. It's a little bit of a process in the beginning. And typically what happens when we start listening to, we're listening to those voices all the time, 24/7. We just don't know it. Like, why would I get up in the morning and go, I suck? Why? What just happened? Nothing. That's an old voice. But now that I hear that voice, I go, oh, honey, that's my 15-year-old or my 13-year-old. It's okay. We're not 13. And this morning, everything's okay. And it's like, oh, yeah, you're right. Because this sucks voice has been going on forever. But now that I catch it, I can parent it. I can befriend it. So from now on, whenever you have like a weird thought, like, I suck, what just happened? Now, if you built something and it completely fell down and you were drunk while you were building it and you said, I suck, that might be valid, right? But if you're like, everything's okay and you hear this word like, I suck, the first reaction is, who's talking? What's going on? Because that's not me. That's an old me. That's a part of me. And your family. So we want to bring them together. So this kind of meditation does that, which is something that's not emphasized in this internal family systems. I'm not certified in it. I never will be because I already learned it my own way, just like the guy who methodized it, Dick Schwartz, right? So I talked to somebody else who does the same kind of work, and he says, call it parts work. That way it's not getting confused with the certified people, some of whom have no experience in virtually anything. Like maybe last year they were a graphic designer, and now they're certified, right, in parts work. So to me, it is a form of channeling. And the more we can listen to what's inside of us, now we can also listen to spirit guides. Because we're used to catching a voice that doesn't quite feel like me, right? So the whole point of this too, then, there's an expression called being more self-led. Right now we're led by wounded parts because we think they're us. But we have this higher self. What's the higher self? This baby. We touch that. That's the higher self, right? So the higher self ultimately is the one we want to consult. Like, Should we do that right now? And the 5-year-old's going, fuck yeah. And the 14-year-old like, no, fuck that, right? And there's this, and now we're completely out of whack, right? Because there's this arguing going on. But then we can bring those voices in and say, hey, remember, there's a bigger thing here. And that bigger energy listens to everybody, kind of takes care of everybody's stuff with time, not right away.
Yeah.
And it has been doing it all along, but does a better job now. And then can connect more with the energy of what's the right timing, what's the balanced time to do this.
Makes sense.
So we're kind of basically doing family therapy with the family inside of us.
Yeah.
That's always been there. But I also find other effects, which is it so sensitizes us to sensing guidance or messages, including not just our wounded parts, but also from, like, if we're getting a message from spirit, like, sleep today, sleep all day, go checking in. That feels like that higher energy saying that, not the 5-year-old. I'm going to do it.
Wow.
So that was a great start. You experienced so much, did you not?
Yeah. Yeah, that was...
Wasn't that like almost as good as a psychedelic trip? Seriously.
No, yeah, it was.
Right? Like you saw things, you felt things came to you, conversations were there.
Mm-hmm.
I find that amazing. To me, this is one of the reasons people take psychedelics, is that it loosens a lot of things up in the brains and allows a lot of connections to happen. But now you can do it, without that, because whatever drug gets us high, we have neuroreceptors for those drugs, which means we already have a chemical like it in our body, or the drugs wouldn't work.
Right.
No neuroreceptors. You put something in your body and you have no receptor for it. The body goes, I don't know what the hell this is, and just pushes it out of the system or gets sick. So follow-up is checking in with these parts that you've met. When you feel like it. And this might lead to a meditation. So for example, you might be feeling mad at women, and for some reason the 5-year-old comes to mind. Have a little conversation with that 5-year-old. Was that you? How can you do that? You can do it internally like you did it. You can place a chair and talk to the chair and then go sit in the chair as the 5-year-old. And you can do it writing. Here's one voice, here's another voice. And you may not be able to do it alone at first, and that's okay too. If you do it alone, if you have a little conversation, guaranteed when it's over, you will be in a space to meditate at least for a few minutes, because something huge changed. You feel how different you are right now?
Yeah.
Really soft, right? Open, maybe is a better word.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, because there's so much emotion on your face right now. Just so much.
Yeah.
As it should be. It's like, I didn't know I had that in me.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, holy crap. Right? And you will find out family history from these voices. You will find out what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And why that's important is that when hard things happen as a child, we're powerless. We're a kid, right? So as a kid, no power, I'm going to make decisions. I'm never going to trust a human again. I'm never going to trust a woman. I'm never going to, fuck that. I'm 5, fuck that. Right? And therefore, from now on, I'm not doing this. Right?
Mm.
But those years are over. So first I have to find out, I have this wounded voice that's running my life now, still. So I can go back and grieve about what happened then. And that's when life starts to get really, really different.
Thank you.
We'll just take a moment and sit with what's happening, okay?
Yeah. was that?
Hmm?
What was that?
Raccoon, opossum, walnuts.
Hmm.
I don't know. There's so much out there.
Well,
So this is typically the work that goes on in private sessions. This, right?
okay.
Then after a while, other things happen too, like healing energy gets more available,
Mm.
and being able to read people. We trust what we're picking up on people. And a lot of other, like all the cool magical spiritual stuff to me comes out of doing this work. This is like clean the house first. We're in an incarnation for a reason. So I want to get everything out of it that I can, and then keep working with all those parts till the day I die. They're family. And now we're all evolving together. And somehow that opens up these massive energy channels. The body changes, health changes, relationships change. In the beginning, it's a little overwhelming because a lot of times, like a lot of voices come out at once, like, finally you're listening. And there's like, with some people, there's like 14 voices. Well, there's me, and what about this, and what about that? Right, so we wanted to not, go forever. It's like you shook hands with a few of these parts, and I guarantee you'll catch their voices when they come up. And all you have to do is be curious, compassionate, offer, so sorry, what can I do for you? What else is going on? That's all you got to do. That's it, right? Later on, some other things might happen. We'll see, right? But instead of shut the fuck up and get to work, or now I'm going to listen to music for 14 hours so I don't hear the voice, I've hit those spaces too, seriously, where it's like, I have to have something in my ears, otherwise I'm going to hear a voice that's ripping me apart, and I don't know what to do to heal it at that moment. So it's not unusual. So what I'm saying is, don't rush it, don't force it. And what we're looking at here is a lifestyle change, not I'm going to get cured. There's no curing here. This is how I relate to all the experiences in my past, present, and even what's coming in the future. Everything is shifting, and it will always shift because everything's evolving all the time. It's either getting better or worse. Nothing stays the same in this life.
Excuse me.
So don't be surprised if you're really exhausted tomorrow. Okay, this was a big thing that happened. With the insomnia, why I wanted to go back into parts is that there's a voice that's keeping you awake that comes up. You don't hear it yet, but when you can't sleep, see if you can sit up and just go, who's talking? What's going on? Who woke me up? Because life is good. You're not in the Gaza Strip. You're not in the ghetto. No woman is breaking your heart right now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If there's a real thing happening, there's a real thing happening. And even then we can work with the parts. But especially if nothing is happening, I'm going to go, who's talking? What is going on? Who's there? And when I first started talking to some parts, here's the answers I got. Fuck you. They wouldn't talk to me. I'm like, motherfucker, you have not talked to me. I am not talking to you. You have let me down. I hate you. And I had to go with that and go, I got it. Tell me why. Tell me more. Tell me about that. And it took a while before, like, okay, like I'll tell you something, but I don't trust you to do anything. When I first started doing inner child work, my inner child almost killed me. Because like I was self-parenting. It's like, fuck you, you're not a parent. You're a loser, you're an asshole. You have no idea how to take care of me or anybody inside of us. It's like, no, porn. So in other words, it can go any way, and you just keep your curiosity, your compassion. Don't press it, just go, okay, is that enough for now? Is there more to say? Lots of questions, lots of empathy, like, wow, I got a 5-year-old, oh my God, 5, is that you? Like, yay! So he's like, yay, and uh-oh, at the same time, ouch, what a split, right, in energy for a little kid. And no wonder there's a 14-year-old in you that's like, fuck it. right?
Yeah.
Makes sense. I mean, there was a reason I became a drug addict. You know, the reason I took acid at 13 for like 3 months straight. That's not normal.
Yeah.
I was cutting at 11, I think,
Wow.
or 12 or something,
Mm.
right? But until we can understand there's these different fractured energies inside of us, and until we can bring them in and heal them and integrate them and work in a new way, we think that's who we are. I am a heroin addict. I am an addict. I am a loser. I am depressed. But now we're going, there's a part of me that is, and there's this other part of me that's a soul. How do we know it? Because when you do this, you hit those places that are amazing. That's the part that we want running more of our life. But all the little voices we have to bring them, you know, put Band-Aids on them and give them a good hot lunch and stuff and hear their sorrows and help them, you know, heal and move past it all. It was amazing what you did, don't you think?
Yeah, it really was. Towards the end there, I got this kind of insight into how it works more, and I feel like I understand it better now.
Your whole face changed by the end, and
Yeah.
so much emotion in your eyes. I've never seen that before. You're always guarded, with good reason. I'm not criticizing, you know, but there was a part that runs you that's like,
Yeah.
I am the gatekeeper. I'm fine. But that's really down right now, so
Yeah, I noticed
big
it.
change.
Gotta look out for more of that.
So I think this is enough.
Yes.